The thing about 21st century skills, I think this is a very important topic we need to look at as educationists. I noticed from previous research I've done, most universities, when they do their IROs in the programs, they miss such pieces and bits regarding the 21st century skills. Or it comes there as something by default. We need to concentrate on this. By adopting the 21st century skills, what we're trying to do is to prepare the people for the future. The future is changing. I mean, when I first went to school in 1958, there was no pad, no iPhone, no computers, the pencil and the notebook and the blackboard. Things have changed. We need to change. We need to change our tools of teaching our kids. And I think I'm concentrating nowadays on these issues, especially on entrepreneurship and how universities could harmonize or synchronize their systems with what's needed in the market. Industry is changing, and I think one of the speakers said industry is faster than universities. And we need to think about this seriously. Because this is a dangerous area. Otherwise, we bring people to the society that cannot find the proper jobs. They cannot use the right skills, needed skills. And then we'll have depression, we'll have failures. Sometimes we are stuck with the systems, with the regulations that does not allow you to let the student go. We take them for training for a certain number of weeks or months, but it's not a co-op. Operating, and it is part of the university setup. The project-based learning is another thing we can concentrate on. So the question is how to prepare these people to go to industry and work or the business life. If he doesn't have the skills of being a good brander or a marketer, he will not be able to open a marketing company and start his own business. So it's you need to concentrate where to go, and the curriculum should meet these requirements.
Entrepreneurship is a matter of choice. So if we have to develop entrepreneurs in a universities, within a university system, it has to be a sort of extracurricular activity. Perhaps if you have an entrepreneurship development center within the university, and students from various faculties, I have medicine, engineering, management, so students from any of these faculty could be assisted in setting up of their own businesses, okay? But whenever we think of entrepreneurship education, it's important to keep the end objective, and that is whatever efforts we put in to develop our students, ultimately they got to set up their own enterprises. And that percentage is very small. It's very small. Maybe in India, in the management schools, when I graduated from a management school, none of us went in for entrepreneurship. But nowadays it is around 15%, 1.5, which is significant. And to cater to this particular segment of students, most business schools have their own entrepreneurship development centers, and they have business incubators, and some of the technical institutions, like yesterday there was, today we were talking of Vishveshwaraya, VTU, Vishveshwaraya Technology University, one of the researchers for the study which Professor Saad presented, they have their own business incubator. So, if a university has to do something meaningful, it has to be, and the faculty have to be prepared. That's very important. I can be very effective in teaching marketing, but I may not be that effective in helping my students understand how to attract and retain customers. So the faculty have to be oriented towards providing entrepreneurship inputs. That's it.
You asked about ecosystem in universities and environment, yes, and industrial revolution. Of course, I think the same as well. It's all over the world. It's a triangle. Yesterday, some colleagues told about this. It's government, business, and universities. If you are talking about environment and ecosystems, if you are talking about our experience in our university in Russia and how we prepare ecosystem of university to modern time. We worked with that challenge, I think, more than 10 years, and we started work, and we had quite large mistakes about this. We tried to at first study everybody entrepreneurship, then soft skills, but we back to the system, and more than 6 years we work in another system. It's like building. Fundamental things, it's hard skills. Then we put, I told, digital skills. Then we put soft skills. And after this, we get entrepreneurship, because not everybody want and can to be entrepreneurship. And a lot of people have to be a good doctors or good teacher or good arts who play on violin or piano, why not, ballet. It's very important too. And but we have to give possibility to everybody to be an entrepreneurship in art, in medicine, in psychology. But if we want to give possibility, we have to give at first hard skills, then digital. Of course, digital, it's very, very entrepreneurial now. Because, of course, we come from our strong things in our university, and it's radio physics, it's neuron nets in different areas, and of course when we show to agricultural students how to work neurons in agriculture, how they planning irrigation and other stuff, how they count a forest, how many forests in this area from space. Of course, it's very interesting, and it's a lot of services in entrepreneurial area. If we teach psychologists how to work with neurons and how to work with text, how to work with behavior, how they recognize problems in behavior area in some students, of course it's very entrepreneurial, and after these technologies he could work in a good place, or he can be entrepreneurial, and this is a possibility. Before I told we focused on soft skills and entrepreneurial, it's not work. Now it work much better.
Yeah, yesterday I had no opportunity to ask a simple question from the presenters from Huddersfield. You talked about integration of entrepreneurship in the different programs that you have. So it was just coining my mind that why not integrate also an entrepreneurship field in, let's say, College of Law, engineering, and other programs in a university or college? Yes, because, you know, for example, one engineer of yours presented about inventions, and that would really enhance, you know, the quality of life of people in society. So that really tried to play in my mind. We have several programs, offered in the university. For example, in our university, we have 3 colleges. We have the College of Business Administration, where we focus on this entrepreneurship, integrating them in several courses. We have the College of Law. So how could we possibly integrate entrepreneurship in the College of Law? Similarly, in the College of Engineering and Architectural Design, we have the Dean here of College of Engineering. So because in the long run, we possibly want them to be, employers and do a multiplier effect, creating jobs, and not just be employees in just the public or the private sectors. So anyone from you?
Yeah, I have one final comment, if you allow me. One of the things that needed when you do accreditation or when they do quality review, these specialists ask you about cooperative relationship with employers. That means how the university will open doors with other employers in the society or in the economy. And what is the involvement of the students, like bringing guest speakers, scientific visits to the industry, all these sort of things that will help the student to become a leader later on. That will complement our work about the 21st century skills. The other thing is the community engagement. Community engagement is important also in creating and developing the skills of the student to become a leader, to become a volunteer, to love his society, to think about what to do to develop his society, what to do to find a way in this jungle of difficulties he's facing in the future. So the university work is a mold of all these things that will allow us to help the student or our graduates to become successful entrepreneurs. Thank you.
Another point, it is expected that, in this industrial revolution, some jobs will disappear, some new ones will be created, some should be maybe improved or changed. So how our universities, should, deal with this problem? If we go and with all the traditional programs that we have a long time ago, maybe 20 to 30 years ago, maybe we'll end up with the outcome will be unemployed people. Yes or no? Yes, I think, so how we prepare and go fast in this regard and change our programs, our curriculum, so that we cope with the future.
I'm sorry, I'm just, because I have a lot of things I need to talk about. It's advisory boards. Advisory boards is the question. If you have an advisory board for any program, this advisory board will be able to help the university with our specialists, the professionals, academics, and the professionals from industry to develop what is needed in the market and how to ease employability of the students later on, whether finding jobs or whether creating their own businesses. I think this is the answer. Of course, this is not the sole answer, but there are other sources that support you in the development of the curriculum. And I think one of them will be the sabbatical leave for staff to go and see other universities. The connection between the research groups working with joint researchers from other universities. This will open avenues to the staff to look and see what's happening. Now, I'm talking about artificial intelligence. I know nothing about computing. I'm just a normal user of the computer. But once I read and I do research, I will find things that I can incorporate in my case studies I give to the students or the assignments I give to the students. We need, as I said, it's a cumulative work. It's not something solo. This is the answer. It's not magic, no. It needs a lot of cooperation from different parties to be able to go for the market, meeting the market needs.
If you permit me, we had a problem back home in India where around 80% of the engineering graduates were not ready for, were not did not have marketable skills. They were not ready for employment. So many institutions, they used to recruit engineers, they used to put them through a training program, 1 year or 6 months or so. And that's expensive for the employers. So now the situation has changed slightly. There are businesses which run specialized finishing schools. It's a business running a finishing school wherein I offer certain skills relevant to the market. So I bridge the gap between what the industry needs and what the traditional education system offers. When it comes to jobs disappearing, I come from a city which is known as Silicon Valley of the East, Bangalore, and there are 1 million software professionals in my city, 1 million, and the city has a population of around 11 million. So every 11th person is a software engineer. So there, the entry-level jobs have disappeared. They have totally disappeared because of automation. And which would only mean that I learned, let's say COBOL, Pascal, it's all gone now. Now we need to talk in terms of new softwares like Ruby on the wheels, Python, and all kinds of things. So who is helping the students to be ready to meet such requirements of the industry? And this answer to this question has led to a mushrooming of many businesses which offer this kind of, which offer programs to meet the skill gap. So it's an enterprise in itself.
Okay. Of course, it's a very important question, and I think all universities are thinking about this. And what we do, of course, we use forecasters, different world, country, region, and etc. We use statistics, and it's a very magic thing, really, and it's sometimes it's very true. And what we see, we see that, of course, a lot of jobs goes out, but a lot of jobs come in. And in digital revolution and fourth industrial revolution, you need a lot of people today, very low skills. For example, everybody know that information, it's a new oil. Data, it's a new oil. And if you can use information, you have a huge amount of profit. But everybody know that so few information digitalized. And you need now today, and in our forecast, 10 years, 100,000 people who will write data sets. It's, believe me, it's very easy. We can study everybody for 2 months, and you will be very good specialized in data sets creating. But it's just to put oil. Then you have to make petrol, etc., plastics. It's high technologies, and this one in Russia it's quite important. And when people come to us, they put in this area and they put in this atmosphere, and of course they studied at first these very easy cases, and then they come to programming and use neurons and help psychologists to prepare artificial tests for students or business or marketing in different areas. It's what we see.
There was an experience in my country where we invited the founders to our university, and we laid down the program, the banking and finance. And then, when we sat down with them, they said, you are giving too much of the courses. What they earn for 4 years could be learned in 2 years. So these are the only skills that we need in the bank, in the banking sector. So they tried to streamline all the courses, simplified the courses instead of duplicating, for example, courses in a program. And then, you know, that brought the idea of having training institutes for students. So instead for colleges and universities offering a 4-year program, a 5-year program, these institutes have been offering short courses or modular courses. So let's be careful also in our programs, spatially, and we need to really invite the tripartite sector of the society. We need the industry, we need the government, we, the academe, in order to thresh out what really is needed by this kind of industry. In that case, we are not exercising in futility. Thank you.
I think we need to think about entrepreneurs and university in a broader way. Who is the key player? So we need to go beyond that. So at least we need to have a policy, internal, institutional policy, regional policy, and global policy, because we are thinking for the achievement of Millennium Development Goals, and we know that there is 2 articles in that issues regarding the employability and community development. And also, if we're talking for UN Agenda 2063 and African Union Agenda 2030, we need to think about a policy. So the key players in this issue is not just higher education institutions. It must be a national policy, and it must be an integrated policy, because Ministry of Higher Education, Ministry of Tertiary Education, Ministry of Labor, and Ministry of Industry must work together, because we need to answer the question, who, how much, and how come. So in some European country, for example, there is some program had been stopped because the country are not in need for that specialty. So we need to think about what type of higher education and what is the quality. For example, tertiary radical geography of education. So it must be involved in all our curriculums to change the behavior, attitude, and practice of the graduates. Also, technical and vocational educations. So what type of graduate do we want? We want a baccalaureate degree, or we need a technical personnel. This depends on the country need. So unless we conduct our policy and clear situation analysis for the region and the country, so from those statistics we can identify what you want. Maybe we want technical educations rather than normal educations. Maybe we need to change the way we educate our peoples in different level of educational strategies. As I said, radical geography of education is most important. So the normal, traditional way of teaching in different university, in different parts of the world, cannot help us a lot to solve our problems. So we need to sit and establish a policy. We are in Association of African University in Africa regions. We set up our policy, how to do and how to involve all the key players in our policy to get up with good people. And even if we talk about the university and education itself, what quality of educations? Do our university and technical college as a level to graduate a person with a level what you want to do the work, because our outcome must be economical development. So my recommendations, we need to set our policy which can be based on our real situation analysis. Thank you very much.
Where are you located, the association? Where are you located?
The Association of African University is a think tank organization. It's 15 years old. It's based on Ghana, and it is a voice of higher education in Africa. It works according to Memorandum of Understanding which signed between the organization and African unions, and actually it translated all international needs into policy. The main office at Ghana and East Africa Regional Office at Sudan, and we have West Africa Regional Office at Cairo, and now we open West American office at Washington, D.C. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Question?
Okay, thank you. I'm Ruth Wajau from Kenyatta University, Kenya. And mine is to thank the presenters and also to tell us, as much as we are thinking about our students, we should also be thinking about us, the lecturers, because are all of us into this? Have we been really sensitized and put in that line whereby we are also passionate about passing the same information to our students? Because we could be having very good policies, very good curriculum, but who is implementing the curriculum? Are they at the same level? Our students are very well, they are digital, but how about some of us lecturers? Are we in that mode of digital? Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for the meaningful input. I'm Dr. Norbert Trophy from the Pan-African Institute for Development. How, in your respective university, how do you integrate education, research, and entrepreneurship in your respective institution?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Engineer Dr. Queeneth Omoibo. I am from Nigeria. You can see my flag here. I am from Kenyatta University, Okada. I am a lecturer. I am from Mechanical Engineering Department. I'm into entrepreneurial thinking and innovations, intellectual property, and technology transfer. I want to start by saying, Dr. Fraser, good morning. She brought me here. God bless you, from Nigeria. Now, she is the director of the Eastern region of AAU. I attended a program in AAU in Kenya and in Ghana, and I know that AAU is so robust as per policies that have to drive entrepreneurial thinking. Now, I have something to add to what Dr. Ruth said. I also met her in Kenya, Karibu. Yes, she said something, and I want to answer that. Now, in my university, Kenyatta University, Okada, we have an entrepreneurial center where we teach our students on how to be entrepreneurs when they come out, so that they become employed, and then when they are gainfully employed, they are able to stand by themselves. And we have a policy as well. And we have training. I am the head of that training, stimulating entrepreneurial thinking in university lecturers. I tagged it C2. And in that training, we always do every 3 weeks training for every college and every faculty to see how each of these colleges, even law, we stimulate them to think entrepreneurially. Is it only to work in a chamber? Is it to be a lecturer? Is it to be a pro bono? We stimulate them. Our engineering students, we stimulate them. If you leave the school, what are the things you can do within the campus? So we open a little car wash and tell the lecturers, oh, please, your car is dirty, come and wash it. And then when the students do that, they get money for themselves. So if they're able to stimulate that, when they come out, they could be interested in opening their own car wash. And then they have money before they become big people like us. So we are already doing that in Kenyatta University. And we say, we need your support, we will go higher. God bless you all from Nigeria.
You asked the question about how to integrate entrepreneurship in research. Okay, research and education. Isn't it that we have the trilogy functions of the university? We start with instruction. Of course, no problem with that, because when we teach entrepreneurship in all fields, that's instruction. But what about research? We started it in Kingdom University by being co-authors in Starts Up with Professor Saad here. We have chapters in the book. And then we tried to disseminate to our students. So it's a classroom-based research, actually. We do classroom-based researches, and the output is disseminated to our own students, whether they be entrepreneurship students, small business management, or other fields. As long as we have time to give them, we share to them. That's one. Another thing is, in community engagement, we could also integrate entrepreneurship as part of the educational program. You know, when we conceptualize, let's say, programs to the less fortunate areas in our society, we can do entrepreneurial undertakings, but we see to it that this should be sustainable in the long run. So we do basic ones, but that is a start for our integration of the functions, the trilogy functions, especially research and community engagement.
I just want a final word to elaborate on what our colleague asked, and the lady from Africa, about the policies and strategies of the government. We have a good case in Bahrain. 3% of the revenue goes for research, 2% of the revenue of the university go for staff development. Now we integrate research with the entrepreneurship by allowing professors to do research and encouraging students to bring new ideas. Now, the Ministry of Education in Bahrain issued a strategy 2014-2024. If you flip the papers of this strategy, you will find the word entrepreneurship mentioned 25 times, which means it is an utmost priority for us in Bahrain to go for entrepreneurship. Now, universities are different in how they are doing this due to the experiences or the people involved in research, involved in entrepreneurship. But we are trying to penetrate wherever you go. I mean, we go to people, we go to societies, we have groups. I am part of two groups, the SME group and the startup book. As my colleague Dr. Venus mentioned, we produced a book by 24 authors. Everyone wrote a chapter. And this book became very popular in Bahrain. So you can disseminate the knowledge through this way. And also you can put a system within the university how the loop will work for research entrepreneurship. It's not difficult, it's very easy. Once you have the money, it's very easy. We have the money. Thank you.
May I? Yeah. The lady over there was saying that the faculty have to be ready to be able to teach, to be able to facilitate entrepreneurship development. I will take just 1 minute to say about, to share one of my experiences. I was invited by a private university, a privately funded university, to offer a course on family business management. Okay? So they said, give us a course outline, give us a curriculum, give us a list of books, and then the examination, the final term and exams. I said, look, I'm talking to the young generation from family businesses, and I'm helping them to integrate themselves into family business. So we can't have an exam. We can't have a list of books and things like that. So it's a question of the mindset of the decision makers at the educational institution or at the university. If I have a traditional mindset, it is extremely difficult for me, for my university, to be able to get into entrepreneurship development.
Thank you very much for attention. I think the world is very changed for last 100 years, and everybody became very open. And most of country got independence and built their own educational systems. It's quite young, but they grow very rapidly. And that's why, of course, we have to work together and do good things, and we have to teach each other, study each other, and it will be everything will be okay, maybe better. There is a Russian delegation, Moscow State University, it's the main university in our country. It's a business incubator, and then Technopark is the head of, and his name Vasily. You can ask him something, and of course we can connect with different Russian universities, not only with my university. Thank you very much. I'm
Thank you, Dr. Murad. And